So, yeah, what is Riemann approximation, Mano?
So basically, use the Riemann hypothesis and the method that we've learned for that to approximate the value of the function.
Value of the function. What we exactly find out
That it
under
has
Riemann?
so basically the zeros of the function.
Hmm.
It's the area under the curve, right?
Area
The
under
Yeah,
the curve.
the area
I
under
think
the
Mano, you
curve.
got
So you
confused
make
with Taylor or
rectangles with
Maclaurin.
very small.
I think,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
You make rectangles of
Yeah,
very small breadth, like very
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
negligible,
yeah.
So
and
I'd
then
like to
And if
revise.
they're above the curve, they are over approximate.
Yeah, we'll do that. See, we revise the Calc 1 concept here, and the Calc 3 is exactly behave in the same way as of Calc 1. So we are just going through Calc 1 concept very quickly here. If suppose we have a function, okay, like this, f of x, and these are bound with this upper and lower limit, okay, a and b. So we actually find out the area within, under the curve, right? So the area under the curve in case of Riemann approximation, we find out this. Riemann approximate the area under the curve. Okay, under the curve means it is above x-axis. So what is the idea behind it? If suppose I want to find out the area of this shape, this shaded region, this is not of any geometrical shape. We cannot apply any formula. So at least we can do one thing. We can approximate the area by dividing this intervals into how many, how many partition?
Rectangle.
Yeah, how many partition we can consider here? N partition. So if we have this A and B as a closed interval, we divide into N equal parts. Okay, if suppose N equal parts, so what we do actually, we we actually draw many rectangle like this. Are they rectangle?
the top
No,
part,
the top part has
the
to be
top part will
exactly.
form like a triangle or whatever.
Yes. So we can connect like this so that we'll get a rectangle, exact rectangle. Okay, like this. Okay. So once we get rectangles, proper rectangles, we can definitely find out the area of the rectangles. And if we sum up all the area of the rectangle, it will give you the approximate area under the curve, right? Because we left out some portion around the curvature part, right? So to enhance the better approximation, to find out the better approximation here, we have to, what we do actually, to enhance the better approximation, what we do, we increase the number of rectangles, right? For the
Yes.
better approximation, we increase the number of rectangles. Like, what is the partition here? The partition, like, suppose we divide this into n equal parts, so we have b minus a upon n. What is this? B minus a upon n will give you what?
Mm. Breadth of each part.
Perfect. It will give you the breadth of each
Yeah.
rectangle, right? This is the width of each rectangle. Since the rectangles are the partition, like, it is basically n equal parts, so the width is also same for each rectangle. Fine. So b minus a upon n is equal to delta x,
Hmm.
which is the width of each rectangle. How do we find out the length of each rectangle? Any idea? How do we find out the length, or you can say height of each rectangle here?
X, right? At that point, the fx value.
Hmm.
Fx value. So which x we are supposed to plug in the function? Which x value?
The right side.
Only right side?
The right side, if we plug, we'll get the higher approximation, and left side, if we plug, we'll get the lower approximation.
Without discussing whether the function is increasing or decreasing, because it behave differently for the increasing function and decreasing function, right?
Yeah.
So my question is basically, how do we find out length of or the height of each rectangle? By plugging only right endpoints or left endpoints or middle values? Sean, which points we should consider here to find out the height?
You can do either, but then the thing changes a little thing.
What did you
You
say?
need the gap left at the top if it's increasing.
Hmm.
You can do either the what do you call left hand side or right hand side.
Hmm.
But I think if
Left
you do
end
left
point
hand
and
side like
right
a
end point.
specific way,
Hmm.
and then right hand
Yeah, so basically what you guys are understanding here, there is a constraint about selecting the point. If I say you can take any point, you can take any point between that width, right? If suppose you have this is the width, right? Del x, each width are same, right? So if I say you can take any point on this width. How many points are there on this width? Infinite point. So if you take any point on that width, you will get the same height, isn't it? Why you are worrying about left end point or right end point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes sense. See, because it was like
Yeah.
decreasing or increasing function, and it was like IB, right? So I even I taught Mano to take either left hand point or right hand point. Basically, we can take any point on that width, right? We can take any point that will produce the same height, but selecting left hand point or right hand point
But
is basically already defined. Is basically already defined, isn't it? Because the left hand point, like if suppose what is the left hand point of the first rectangle? What is the left hand point of this rectangle? A.
a whatever the a comma f of a.
No, just A. Left.
Yeah.
I asked left end point. So the left end point is just A. So
Okay.
if I simply find out f of A, that will give you the height of that rectangle, isn't it? And we are pretty sure about the right end point also, because the right end point is nothing but A plus delta x. Head yes if you understood this. The right end point is basically A plus delta x, isn't it?
yeah.
So if you plug this into the function, that will even give you the same height as of the left end point of this rectangle basically, right? So,
Yeah.
and even we can take the middle values also. The middle value means the midpoint. So what is the midpoint? For this is a plus delta x upon 2. This is the mid
By
value,
2.
right? The middle value. That will also give you
A
the
plus
same
delta
height.
x by 2.
Fine. So basically these are we can actually work on properly. We can work out to find out these points. The left end point, right end point,
But
the middle value. Okay, forget about the that part what you are going to ask, Mano. But the main thing
yeah,
what I want to convey here is we can take any point that should be workable, but we can take any point, right?
mm,
So in the same way, in Calc 3, we are going to discuss that. So what is width? Width is del x, delta x. And what is height of the function? Like what is height of the rectangle? So what we do basically, we
Okay.
find one point, we find one point on each sub intervals, right? Let's say that is xk. Xk star means any point on that width, any point. Star means any point. So what we do next, we plug this in the function to find out height. So find height at each xk star. So that is basically f of xk star. Okay, it produces the height. Then what we do next, we find out the area of one rectangle. Find area of each rectangle basically. So each rectangle is f of height into width. Fine. Now gradually I'll enter
Isn't
in.
it so the summation
Yeah, we'll do. No, that this is this
summation
is
of
the this is the area of each rectangle. Okay. Now that we are going to find out the total area. So for total area, what we
yeah,
do, we add all these areas,
yeah.
and adding all these area means we are putting up summation sign that will give you the approximate area, right? F of xk
Yeah.
star into delta x, and where k goes from 1 to what, n.
A to B. A to B. Oh yeah. Sorry.
1 to n right now for the summation part. So this will give you the approximate value, isn't it? This will give you the approximate area. Now if you must have noticed here one thing, you know, how do we find out the exact area here? How do we find out the exact area? This gives you approximate area. How do we find out the exact area?
The exact
Integration.
formula is when you make your delta x like very small, like
Very small.
negligibly small.
Yes, means if we make delta x tends to 0, and when it happens, when this will happen, when n tends to infinity. Okay, means that interval
Hmm.
tends to infinity. Okay, the partition, the number of partition, if number of partition goes to infinity, then only you will get delta x as tends to 0, right? So if I apply the limit here, it will produce the exact area. So limit n tends to infinity, summation of k is equal to 1 to n f of xk into del x. This will give you the exact, what are, this will give you the exact area, isn't it?
Hmm.
But what is this limit of sum? What is limit of sum? This is the actually definition of integration, right? So we can remove this, and we can put integral sign over here that replace this limit of sum, and that will give you the exact area, and this del x delta x become dx. Okay, because infinitesimal distance, dx is basically like it shows
Hmm.
tends to 0 condition. Okay,
Hmm.
so a to b, the area is given by integration of a to b f of xk prime dot dx. So this gives you the integration part. Okay, that provide the exact area. Okay, now let's understand
Hmm.
in terms of calculus 3. So basically what we have been doing here, we have been discussing multivariable function, isn't it? Multivariable function will always give you what? Will always give you
Surface area.
surface. It will
Surface,
always
surface.
give you
Yeah.
surface. Okay,
Three
we are increasing one
minimum
dimension.
3 dimensions.
Yeah, in calc 1 the function was just y is equal to f of x, only one independent variable. Now in calc 3 we will have y z is equal to f of x comma y. We got two independent variable, so it will give you a surface. So once you get surface, right,
Hmm.
the variable has been expand, the dimension is expanded here. So what will you get? Instead of area under the curve, since you have surface, what will you get?
Hmm.
The region under the surface,
Hmm.
right? The region under the surface. So let me draw the surface here first.
So can you scroll up?
Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
So can you do one thing? Can you send the notes
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
document
I'll
today?
send. Yeah,
Like,
I'll send that.
yeah.
I'll send that.
Like,
So this is y. This is x. Okay. So if we have a surface, since z is equal to function of x and y, so we'll definitely get a surface like this. Okay. So can you imagine that's the surface?
Hmm.
So like if suppose we find out the volume of the infinite surface? Can we find out the volume under the, like, actually what is the reason below surface? You will definitely get a volume, isn't it? Now the dimension has
yeah.
been increased, so what is the next dimension of area? If you add one more dimension to area, what it give you? If you add one more
Volume.
dimension, volume, definitely, right? If you add one more dimension to area, it
Yeah.
gives you volume. So basically if you are going to find out
Yeah.
the Riemann approximation concept in this calc 3, so we have surface, like the multivariate function is basically surface. So region under this surface is basically the volume, isn't it? But how do we approximate the volume? That is the question. How do we approximate the volume? Right? If suppose the surface is going infinite, can we find out the volume? Like there also
No, we
in
need to
calc
restrict the
1,
surface.
yeah, in calc 1 also we had lower boundary
Hmm.
and
A and B.
lower limit and the
Yeah.
upper limit, A and
Up,
B. Then
right.
only we could find out the
Upper
area
limit.
under the curve, right? That is called definite integral, isn't it? In the same way, in Calc 3, if we have to find out the volume under the curve, we must have some boundary, isn't it? We must have some boundary, and that boundary must be defined in terms of independent variable. Here, yes, if you understood. Like in the previous Calc 1 also, the boundary was defined in terms of independent variable. What was the independent variable there? The independent variable was x, right?
X.
Hmm.
X. Yeah.
And we gave the boundary
Yeah.
condition by limiting the x value, isn't it? uh, it's again not showing up. What happened to my bad iPad? I don't know, just a second. Okay, so this is the limiting condition. So condition is always given in terms of independent variable, right? In terms of independent variable. So there are two independent variable in this, okay, x and y. So if suppose I want to provide boundary, right? So that must be given in terms of x and y. So if suppose x is
Yeah.
within a and b, and y is within c and d, okay, it provides you the boundary condition. And for this boundary condition, we can definitely find out the volume under the surface, right? So let me draw the conditions here. See, for x is equal to, like, x is going from a to b, right? Just a second. Can you understand the diagram here?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, you've dropped down like the this thing.
Hmm.
Yes. So
Basically
see,
ABCD. Yeah.
yeah, ABCD. Yes, definitely. It's the ABCD of double integral. So actually, we have a, rectangle. We have defined boundary, right? See, the boundary is defined in terms of two variable, two independent variable. So it will definitely give you the rectangle, right? It will definitely give you the rectangle that can be drawn on x and y plane, right? That can be drawn on x and y plane like this. Can you imagine this now? I have drawn xy plane. We have a rectangle over there, because if I want to find out what is this, x is between a and b, y is between c and d. So how do we find out that region? Okay, this will definitely give you a region. Okay, so if suppose I draw x is equal to a line, x is equal to a line like this, x is equal to b line like this, y is equal to d, and y is equal to c. So what is the bond, what is the region here? The region is rectangle. Okay, and if you shoot this up and it intersect the surface, it will definitely give you the volume, right? So can we easily find out the volume here? Can we easily find out the volume? Easily means, do is it like cuboid, cube, any prism for which we can easily find out the
Yeah,
volume?
Yeah.
Is it
The
like that?
cuboid, right?
cuboid. So
Is it cuboid?
AB into
Is it, is
CD in
first answer me? Is it cuboid? Is it really cuboid?
Regular
actually the
cuboid.
top surface, no, the top surface will be curved like in shape
Yes,
of the
it's a surface,
Of
this
the
surface.
sheet. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So this is not
so it
cuboid.
won't be like totally flat.
So that is not cuboid basically, right? This is surface.
But so like I guess it's the same logic as we did in the one two
Calc.
dimensional one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you take a
Yeah.
really small thing,
Hmm.
it'll be yeah.
What small thing? What small? What should be small?
A, Both, I guess, both AB and
Both
CD.
X and Y both.
AB and CD
Yeah.
should be
The
small.
divisions between AB and between CD.
Yes. So let's understand properly. In the same way, like in Calc 1, we'll definitely draw rectangles, like we divide the partition along x direction in how many equal part? Like let's say we divide AB, B minus A in m equal parts. Okay. What we do for this, we cut the rectangle, we cut this rectangle so that they are equal in number of x partition, number of x partition. Okay. And number of x partition, have I mentioned m? So what we have to do, m is the number of x partition and n is the number of y partition. Okay. So if suppose we divide this interval b minus a into m equal part, like we will get so many rectangle like this. Okay. And m rectangles. In the same way, we can divide d minus c in n equal parts. So we'll get n such rectangles, isn't it? N such rectangles. Hmm?
Hmm. Yeah.
Then these are these rectangles will have a area of, means these rectangles will have a equal area. What is the area in that case? Okay, first of all, let me write the for m number of partition. So how do we write, like del x, you know, delta x is equal to b minus a upon m, and delta y is equal to what? D minus c upon n. These are the,
Minus C upon N.
yeah,
Yeah.
these are length and width of the rectangle, right? These are length. If you are considering width along x direction, then the length along y direction would be delta y. Okay. Then how do we find out, like suppose we want to find out the prism here. For you, I draw one prism here. Let's say I just divide this in four equal rectangles. Okay. And if I suppose show you the diagram here. So let me show you one diagram from one of the textbook. It is difficult to draw. Mm, Mano had given me one textbook. It has nice diagram. Yeah, just a second. Can you see this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Even I
basically,
had the same page open.
cool. So we left. So see, if we increase the number of rectangles, if n is equal to 16, see how do we find the, you know, better approximate volume if we increase the number of rectangle. If n is equal to 64, you can see that, you know, we are left with some little volume. But if we increase to n is equal to 256, then it is like more approximate, it's better approximate than the previous cases. So if suppose n tends to infinity, right, means number of rectangles tends to infinity, we definitely get a equal like exact volume under the surface, isn't it? So in the same way, we are like we at least, let's start with the less partition. If we have a rectangle here, okay, A, B, C, D, and if we divide this rectangle into four equal, you know, four equal area rectangles like this, or I can say if I divide the interval along x direction into two partition, and the interval along y direction into two equal partition like this, so we'll definitely get, you know, four rectangles, because 2 into 2, the number of partitions. So in this case, how many rectangles are we getting here? Because we have partition along x direction, and we have done the partition along y direction. Okay, m is the number of partition, n is the number of partition along y direction. So how many rectangles are we getting here?
Maintain, right?
Mn. See, we are doing two partition along x direction, two partition along y direction. So how many rectangles are we getting? Four rectangle, 2 into 2, right? Similarly, m partition along x direction, n partition along y direction. How many rectangles are we getting? Mn, right? Dev, are you there?
Yes, so I'm there.
So we'll get mn rectangles, right? Okay. So my question is, like, you must have observed the diagram. So we are going to find out the volume of each cuboid, right? Each cuboid. So what would be the height of the cuboid? Because we got the area of cross section. We got the area of cross section. What is the height of each cuboid?
F of uh,
You put the value in the function and
yeah,
the value.
The Z values, no?
Ah, the
The
Z
z value. Yeah.
Z value.
Yes. So to figure out the height of each cuboid, we have to plug some point from the rectangles, right? The point could be on this boundary of each rectangle. The point could be anywhere between this rectangle. Are you getting that? This is very important. We can plug any point from the boundary, or we can put any point within the boundary, right? So ideally, in this case, it will be given, the information will be given in the question, like which point we are supposed to plug. Like if suppose it is said the right lower corner, okay, the right lower corner, so this will be the right lower corner of each rectangle, right? So if you plug that point in the function, that will give you the corresponding z value, and that z value is nothing but your height of that cuboid. Are you getting that? Height of the cuboid. So if I draw one of the cuboid here so that you can understand, okay, it's very difficult for me to draw here, but you must have understood what is the diagram is here. So if suppose we have to find out the height of this cuboid, what we basically plug, we'll plug any point Okay, let's say x star comma y star, and that x star comma y star is basically any point on the boundary or within the rectangle. And where it is should be plugged, it should be plugged in the function. So that will give you the height of cuboid, right? Height of cuboid. So once you get height, what next? You find out the volume. So volume is equal to surface area into height. The surface area into height, right? So what is surface area? Width into length, right? This is width
Yeah.
of the rectangle. Del y is supposed to be length of the rectangle, right? So width into length,
Yeah.
you can write del x into del y. So here also you can find out area directly. Area is equal to del x into del y, right? And you can directly write that. So del x into del y into height. What is height? Height is f of x star comma y star. So this is area of one cube, area of one cuboid, right? This is area of one cuboid. What would be the, not area, sorry, volume of one cuboid? Volume of one cuboid, right? So how do we find out the volume under the surface, the total volume under the surface? And in this case, are all the volume of cuboid same?
No.
No, because the height are
No.
different.
No. No. No.
Right? Because
f of and
because the height
x
are
cross and
different.
y cross are different.
Yes. So we cannot simply generalize this that this is the volume of one cuboid in this case, because the volume is going to be changed for each cuboid because of the different height. Though the area are same, the cross section area are same, because we have uh, made the equal partition along x direction as well as along y direction. So the area are same, no doubt, but the height are different, isn't it? So to put that information into this expression, what should we do? Since the height are different, so we just make this correction by putting ij. What is ij? Ij is the position of the rectangle. Okay. So this, provide the enough information about which rectangle we are choosing here. If suppose we are, how many rectangles here in this? There are four rectangles, right? So it make a great kind of structure, great kind of, the diagram. So basically whenever we get, Mano is already here. Mano, I got your
Yeah,
request.
yes, sir. My computer is overheating actually. I need to join from another device. Accept that, no, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you'll have to leave first because
He's left. He's left. Now
yeah,
he's joined.
yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So how do we position each rectangle here? Based on the ij value, isn't it? How do we position each rectangle? So if we starting from, the first rectangle, this is 1 1, the I is equal to 1, j is equal to 1. Okay, so first row, this is second rectangle, 1 and 2, I is equal to 1, j is equal to 2, right? Now we'll go to the next partition along delta x along x direction. So that will be 2 1, and then we move along y direction. So that will give you the corresponding rectangles, right? So for each ij value, we get rectangles, right? So if I'm saying f of x star ij comma y star ij, it means we are selecting a points from each rectangles. Okay, any point either from the boundary or within the rectangle. Are you getting? So if I simply say what is x11 star comma y11 star, what is this? Where it lie? It lies in which rectangle?
Uh, the green one, the one we have
Yes,
squared again.
the rectangle whose position is 1 1.
The one which is with the, yeah.
Yeah. And if I say 1 2 1 2, so the rectangle whose position is 1 2. So basically we can differentiate these points based on the position of the rectangle, right? And the position of the rectangle can be understood by the value of I and j. Okay, so this is the volume of cuboid, right? So how do we find out the total volume under the surface? By doing summation. Okay, double summation, because I is also increasing, j is also increasing at the same time, right? So I is increasing from what? Like if you look at this diagram,
Hmm.
this one, I is increasing from 1 to 2 and j is also increasing from 1 to 2 in this case, isn't it? So I
Yeah.
is equal to 1 to 2, j is equal to 1 to 2, and delta x delta y into f of xij star comma yj star. So this gives you the total volume under the surface. Okay, is it exact volume? Is it exact volume? No, this
It's
is
approximation.
No.
It's approximate.
approximate volume. Okay, and in this question we are making m partition along x direction, n partition along y direction. So what would be the different values of I and j? The different values of I and j will go from I is equal to 1 to m and j is equal to 1 to n. Have I made anything not clear here? Because there are two
This is
parts here.
basically just the of yeah.
So now here it is m partition along x direction, n partition along y direction. So I will go from 1 to m, j will go from 1 to n, right? Now this will give you the approximate volume under the surface. If I rearrange the term little bit, let's say I is equal to 1 to m and j is equal to 1 to n, f of xij star comma yj star del x del y. Okay, how do we get the exact volume? How do we get the exact volume?
You put the limit.
Take the limit of x comma y approaches 0 comma 0, right?
By increasing
Basically
the number of
integrate it, right, from
partition.
our two
No,
variables.
we will get the exact volume by increasing the number of partition. Okay,
So you
increasing means
can go to infinity, right?
yes, m and n both tends to infinity, then only we'll get the exact
Infinity. Yeah.
volume, right? So how do we write that? So basically, to write that, this is the limiting condition, because we can only think of approaching infinity. So limit m tends to infinity, n tends to infinity, right? Over this function, I is equal to 1 to m, j is equal to 1 to n, f of x ij star y ij star del x, no sorry, delta x delta y. Why I said del x I don't know. Delta x delta y. Okay. Now what is this? Limit of sum. That is basically the integration. Okay. How many limit? How many sum? There are two limit, two sum. Okay. So we'll put double integration here over this function f of x comma y, and this delta x delta y become infinitesimal dx and dy, right? But how do we show the boundary condition here? That boundary is basically your is region. Okay, so we basically write r that shows the boundary condition. Okay, so this is the double integration. The notation is, I think, very much clear to you, that r stands for
Region.
rectangle or region. R stands for what? R stands for region. Okay, it's not rectangle, because the region could be anything. It should be closed boundary. Okay, the only condition is it should be closed boundary. So the region could be anything. It may be rectangle because it is easy to understand through rectangle. It can be any random diagram also. It can be triangle, it can be circle, or anything, but it should be closed boundary. So if it is a closed boundary, then only we can shoot that region, you know, to the surface. We'll get certain volume, and we can find out the volume of that particular region under the surface. Is that clear to you? So let's find out. Let's do one exercise on this. There was, are you there? Because I can't see you.
Yes, sir.
You're not answering.
I'm very
also.
much. No, I'm not.
Okay. So R stands for region. It can be anything, right? But it should be closed boundary. Okay. Now let's do one question on this. Find volume for z is equal to 8 minus 2x square minus y square on r x comma y such that, okay, this is region. Okay, this r stands for region. I'm defining region here. Okay, region must be defined. So if your region is like defined like this, for m is equal to 2, n is equal to 2, and use lower right corner points. Have you written the question?
So I'm writing it.
Yeah.
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 So this is very important. The region is very important. As we have already drawn in, I think, in derivative also. also, like in the when we were trying to find out the critical point, right? And the absolute maxima or absolute minima of the function within the boundary. Do you remember that? When we try to find out the absolute minima and absolute maxima of the function within the boundary, right? So we apply this concept. We try to find out the region first, and then the this boundary will cut the. Are you getting that? This boundary plane will cut the surface, and that will produce a curve. And then we found the critical point of that curve that produces maybe absolute maxima or absolute minima. Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you recollect those concepts? And Mano used to show that. Mano used to show that. Like that was a box surface. It was cut by the plane. We get certain curve along the plane,
Yeah,
right? And we try to find out the
on the
whether
plane. Yeah,
on the plane, and we find out whether the critical point is absolute maxima or absolute minima.
yeah.
There was. Can you recollect that?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I
When
got
he
that.
put it on his table, right?
Yeah,
What is
it
the
was.
link we are making? I didn't get the link.
Yeah. So basically, there also we drew region. That what I'm saying here. Here also we are drawing region,
Hmm.
isn't it? There also the
Yeah,
region was defined,
yeah.
some specific region, maybe triangle. Do you remember that triangle or the rectangle? It was circle also. It was parabolic kind of also, right? So the region may be anything. It should be closed region. So this region is very specific in integration because we are going to find out volume, and the volume can only be found for the closed region, right? So first of all, we'll draw the region here. This is y-axis, this is x, right? So if suppose x and y both are bounded, like bound within the constant, okay? Both are bound within the constant, like x is equal to 0 to 1. So 0 is here, let's say 1 is here, okay? 0 to 2, y is 0 to 2. So 1, 2, okay? So what is your region? The region is like it will be rectangle. Are you getting that? It will be a rectangle because when we draw x is equal to 0, that line is nothing but your y-axis. When we draw x is equal to 1, that is this line. Within that means this, right? So this is again the infinite
Yeah.
area. Now again y is also bounded between 0 and 2. So when we draw y is equal to 0, that is x-axis. When we draw y is equal to 2, that is this line. So it will produce the finite closed region, okay? And that region is rectangle in this case also. So when do we say that region is rectangle? When x and y both are bound within constant, then only we will get a rectangle, isn't it?
Uh, uh, doesn't what? It will always be. Are we saying
If
constant as in what? So we are saying no parameters.
no, if x and y bound
Yeah.
by the constant, by constant, like it may be this case, y less than equal to x, like this, later in the case, okay, where it is variable.
Okay.
So this is different case. But if x and y both are
Hmm.
bound with constant, it means we will get a
Hmm.
rectangle, okay? The region would be rectangle, right? So what we have to do, we have to find out volume of this surface. So this region actually shoot up the surface, okay, along z direction, and it will produce some volume. It will produce some volume. So what we do, they have already given you the number of partition. M is equal to 2, n is equal to 2, right? So M is equal to 2 means how many partition? 2 equal partition along x direction.
Four. Okay.
So would that be 0.5?
Yes, this will be
Four
half.
partitions, right?
There will be 2 partition along x direction like this. Okay, and when n is equal to 2, there will be 2 again along y direction.
Yeah.
Okay,
So four total.
so there will be total 4 rectangle. Mn is equal to 2 into 2, which is 4. Right. Now we have to find out volume of this surface and surface region under the surface. Yeah. So how do we find out height? How do we find out height? They have mentioned something in the question.
Like Z values, right? Like
Yeah.
you can input the X and Y, and then you
Which
Z
x
value.
and y? Which x and y? Use lower
So
right
you
corner
said use
points.
lower.
Boundary values.
lower
Boundary values.
Which boundary values? In question, I said in question it will mention like which value, which point we have to consider.
Lower right.
It may be either from boundary or
Lower-
within the
lower
rectangle.
right. Lower right.
So use lower right
Yeah, so,
corner points.
one.
So lower
One-
right means
1,0, right?
this is 1 point, this is another point, this is this, and this is 4. How many rectangles? 4 rectangles. How many points? 4 points. Okay. So if we plug these points in the function, it will provide you the height of each cuboid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can you position each rectangle here? Like this is 1 1, like this. Above is 1 2. Okay. This is 2 1. This is 2 2. Isn't it? Okay. So how do we find height here? So the height is basically like f of what? Half comma 0 for the 1 1 rectangle, isn't it?
Yeah.
F of
Hmm.
1 comma 0. This will give you the height of second rectangle, means along x direction actually. Okay. If you want to go in order, so we can do that also. Like for 1 2 rectangle, that height would be half comma 1. This will also give you the height of 2 comma 1, so that is 1 comma 0, and height of 2 2 rectangle 2 2 is basically 1 comma 1, isn't it? So these are 4 heights. These are the heights of the cuboid. What is the cross section area? Delta x, delta y. What is delta x?
Yeah.
What is
One
delta
minus
x?
0 is delta x.
Delta x is equal to 1 minus 0 upon
1 minus 0.
2. How many partition?
2.
2.
Yeah.
So 1 minus 0 upon 2, which is 1 by 2. What is
So I
delta
have a
y?
question.
Yeah.
So isn't like delta X and delta Y supposed to be like a very small value? Like
No, they already gave you that this is the partition you have to follow. Means m is equal to 2 and n is equal to 2 in the question. Means we have to make only 2 partition along x-axis and 2 partition along y-axis. They are already given you in the question. What you are saying is
So
actually
are we
integration.
like doing the
We are finding
that's what. So I was asking, are we doing integration or approximation?
approximate area.
Approximation, right? Right now?
We are doing approximate area because they already given
Yeah.
you the finite partition here. Okay, and then we gradually enter into the multiple
Yeah,
integral after
yeah.
this. Okay, So what is delta y? Delta y is 2 minus 0 upon 2, which is 1. So what is the area of cross section? Means area of each rectangle. Area of each rectangle is half into 1, which is half, right? This is area of each rectangle. Now area are equal, right? Area of each rectangle is half, isn't it? So if I simply like
Hmm.
if I simply multiply by half, okay, and add this height, will it give you the approximate volume? Because f of 1 by 2 comma 0 into half plus f of 1 by 2 comma 1 into half is the area. So area into height, area into each height will give you the volume of each cuboid. Are you getting that? Any doubt here?
Yeah.
See, we have written the height of each cuboid in the bracket, and I multiplied that them by the area of cross section, right? So area into each height will give you the volume of each cuboid, and that will give you the approximate volume under the surface within the region. So this is equal to, can you find out f of half comma 0? What is f of half comma 0? For that you will have to plug it into the function. What is the function? Function is 8 minus 2x square minus y square. That will give you the height of the cuboid. So when you plug them in the function, it will produce some values like 15 by 2. I'm giving you direct values.
11.5, yeah. 13, yeah.
Okay. Into area. So when we solve this, we'll get 25 by 2. So this is the approximate volume under the surface. Okay. This is the approximate volume under the surface. Now my question is here, like we found the expression for in terms of double integral, right? The volume in terms of double integral, that is this f of x comma y dx dy. This does not make any sense if I don't write r here.
Hmm.
Okay, r means the region, the closed region, right? My question is,
Hmm.
can we write this is equal to f of x comma y dy into dx?
Hmm. So how would it make a difference?
In first term it is dx dy, the second is dy dx. Are they equal? Or can you figure out, like in the diagram, like when we did that by Riemann approximation here, how did we enter dx and dy in the expression? Here, the expression has dx dy here at the end. How did we get that?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear. Okay, did you understand my question? How did we get this dx and dy here?
No.
See, we are reducing the width along x direction, we are reducing the length along y direction. Okay, and for infinitesimal width and infinitesimal length, we can write dx and dy here. Okay, and the limit of sum gives you the integration sign. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So
Oh, so I got it. I was getting so basically the dx is corresponding to the first integral and the dy is corresponding to the second outside integral.
yes, and my question is, can we write that as dy into dx instead of dx dy? Can we write that as dy dx?
Yeah,
Why?
because both of them are like very small, like I guess so they're like equally very small.
So
No.
could you repeat the follow the question?
See, the question is very straight. We found this expression, right? We found this expression
Uh-huh.
that give you the exact volume under the region. My question is, can we, switch the position of dx and dy? And can we write dy dx instead of dx dy? What's your opinion, Sean?
So I think you can because you're multiplying it, right?
See, look at, did you understand the question, Mano?
Yeah, I don't think we can.
Okay, let me explain.
Yeah.
See, delta x into delta y is area,
Hmm.
area of each rectangle, isn't it? Delta a, that is delta x into delta y. I just denote that as delta a, area of each rectangle. Okay, some part of the area of the big rectangle actually. That is delta a. So delta x into delta y and delta y into delta x both are same thing because the multiplication is commutative, isn't it?
Yeah,
So we can write
because they
del
are.
x into delta y same as delta y into delta x, right? So if
Okay.
suppose, like Dev has noticed the main idea behind that, if we are writing dx, it means this corresponds to this integral sign, and we have dy that corresponds to the outer integral sign. Okay, so we can definitely write dy dx, but this dy will corresponds to this integral sign, and this dx will corresponds to outer integral sign. Okay, how do we make difference while writing that? Because we are not specifying the region properly, we just mentioned r. So how do we write that? Like rectangular region rectangular region r, x comma y such that less than b, c less than a. Okay, then this is like f of x comma y dx dy. Okay, so this dx will corresponds to the inner integral, and inner integral is have lower limit as a, upper limit as b, because that corresponds to x value. So x is equal to a, x is equal to b. Okay, and the outer integral corresponds to the y value. So for outer integral, that corresponds to y is equal to c to y is equal to d. Okay, if I want to write this same, the expression, but I want to switch the variable. Okay, so f of x comma y dy dx. So in the same way, the inner integral will corresponds to y value, which is y is equal to c to y is equal to d, and the outer integral will corresponds to x value, so which is x is equal to a to x is equal to b. Understood? So yes, we can definitely switch the variable accordingly the integral sign will switch. Means the limit of on the integral sign will change,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So which one should
Yeah.
we take? Like which one should we take? If they are equal, if they are equal, which one should we take? Is it a valid question?
Didn't we just discuss it would be, the effect would be the same?
Yes, the result would be same, no doubt about that. But
Yeah.
we will choose one which is easier to handle.
Yeah.
Which is easier to handle.
So what's the point of finding the approximate value, like when you can directly find the exact value?
Yeah, definitely. Because see, in that we use the summation sign, right? And like I want to introduce
Yeah.
integration. I cannot directly use integration directly because the Riemann approximation came first. The idea behind integration is basically Riemann approximation. And once we deal with the
Yeah.
Riemann approximation, where the limit of sum, limit to infinity, and the sum is there, then that can be replaced by the integral sign. Okay,
Okay.
as far as the definition is concerned. So that's why the Riemann approximation need to be discussed here. If I directly give you the expression, that doesn't make any sense. If I directly give you the final expression, you won't realize what is volume, how volume is coming in the picture, and how we can actually find out the approximate volume and why this is exact volume basically. Okay, like we
Hmm.
did in IB, we first discuss Riemann approximation for the area, and then we introduce integration to find out the exact area, right? And
Hmm.
suppose one who don't know integration, so they can even eventually go for the approximation, right? So to find out
Yeah.
volume, exact volume, you must know
Yeah.
integration, at least basic integration, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do one sum on this. Let me share one on the screen again. It got frozen. And then we'll stop for today. Dev, are you there?
So your screen is not showing now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sharing that. It got frozen.
But so we didn't finish that question, right?
No, I'm putting up one question now on this.
New one? Okay, man.
Sorry.
So new question.
Yeah, new question. Let me share that. So x plus y square dA.
So dx dy can be written as dA.
Yes, dx. I didn't wrote that, no? Okay. So dx dy can be written as dA. Actually, I left the working for you. You will have to figure out what is dx, what is dy, how integration will have different limits, what are the limits. So I gave you the region here, okay, and I simply gave you the expression. You will have to work on it to find out the proper expression of the integration. Sometimes you will get in like you will get the proper question with the limit itself. It is easy to handle because we know that we are going to differentiate integrate with respect to x, apply the limit, integrate with respect to y, apply the limit, right? But if suppose we get such question where the expression is not clear, not clear means that limit is not mentioned properly, I wrote dA instead of dx dy, so you'll have to work on it something. Have you written down the expression, the full expression of the volume?
Basically, you have to put limits now on both
Yes,
the integrals.
yes, limits. So let me know the limit on first integral. See, if I write dx dy, okay, if I write dx dy, so limit of second integral would be
Then you have to put
0 to 1, x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 1, and the limit of second integral would be y is equal to -1 to y is equal to 2, right?
Hmm.
So y is equal to -1 to y is equal to 2. What is the integration of this function with respect to x first? Okay, with respect to x. So with respect to x means y holds constant, x square upon 2. What is the integration of y square with respect to x?
nothing, no? Oh, y square x, y square x,
Yes, x y square, or you can
Yeah.
write y square x.
y
Okay,
square.
yeah. Any doubt, Mano, here?
Yeah. Got it.
No.
Okay. So we will apply limit here. X is equal to 0 to 1 dy. Okay.
This means
Now,
the integration rules, etc., everything else remains the same, right?
yeah. So now we will apply the limit. What we are plugging here for? We are plugging for x, right? We are plugging for x. Always like be focused on this. We are plugging for x. So x is 1 like x square by 2. So 1 by 2 plus 1 y square minus, if you plug x equal to 0, it will give you 0 dy, right?
Hmm.
So once you have integrated with respect to x, just a second. Once integrated with respect to x, x should disappear completely. Okay. With respect to x, x should disappear completely. There is no x in this expression, isn't it? There is no x. Now what we are going to do now? We'll integrate with respect to y, right? So what is integration of half with respect to y?
Hmm.
Half y plus
Half y. Yeah.
and y cube by 3. We apply the limit -1 to 2. What is the value here? 2 by 2 is 1 plus 8 by 3 minus -1 by 2 minus 1 by 3. Okay, it's just simple algebra. So 11 by 3 minus plus 5 by 6. Nine by 2. Okay, so the final answer is 9 by 2.
Yeah.
Right, so this is the whole concept about double integral. It came from the same logic, which is like a Riemann approximation.
Okay.
Did you
So when
understand?
you
Yeah.
are doing, yeah, I understood. So when you're doing a normal question, you don't need to put all the limit tends to infinity and everything, right?
No.
That is the proof.
No.
Like
Yeah, it was just a proof. It was just a simple explanation about double integration. We no need to put summation or
Okay.
anything limit kind of. Okay.
Makes sense. So now solve it like this.
Yeah. I would not like harass you by putting summations, and we'll simply put integral, and that would be easier to handle. Okay, makes sense. Okay. Any doubt? Did you find the like this session fruitful? Like, did you understand something from this session?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dev?
Yeah, I mean the last part was the best.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah, the climax must
the
be good. No, every time climax must be good.
yeah.
Okay. Bye bye. Meet you on Wednesday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Send, please, note for today
Yeah, definitely.
in the group.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mm.